All right, guys. Now, so there's like a really cool pre-story to this because when you take one old dude that doesn't mess with computers and another old dude that doesn't mess with computers, and you put them all together trying to make something happen on a computer, it doesn't always go well. So, just kidding. But really, I'm excited today about today's conversation with Ryan Garnett. Ryan, I followed Ryan for a long time. Yeah, he is just an inspiration to me, but also just a great dude, right? Real down to earth, laid back guy, and I'm excited to have a conversation because he's just doing big things. So again, break breakthrough 2020 is what it is, what it sounds like. This is a broken environment we're in today. There's people that I know currently that are battling. I've had clients that are having tremendous success in this environment. I have clients that are just getting destroyed. I have people that I talk to daily that are motivated, and then the next day they just got crushed and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. And so anytime I've observed in my personal life, either through witnessing through somebody else or intentionally through myself, I've found that breakthrough for me, for others that I've seen, has happened through broken processes. And so in this current environment, I'm excited because I know not only will God do great things through people, but also we will see people do things that they never imagined could be possible, but it's going to start with mindset. And so as I've told everybody, I don't have any kind of affiliation, or this isn't one of those things where I'm trying to get sales for other things or do anything. Ryan's not giving me kickbacks or anything from our conversation today. He's just a successful entrepreneur, and as I've always pursued him in conversation, dialogue, motivation, we've become friends. And in that process, I felt like, man, I said, hey, dude, like people need to hear your story because they need to know what can happen when you're relentless and you pursue that. So again, Ryan, thanks for chatting with us today. We're going to push send after this video, right? Put it out into the universe, and maybe it just touches one person. That's what we talked about before the show. We just need one person to be inspired by your story and lift that up. So with that, we're going to dump in. If you want to tell people a little bit about yourself, then I'll dive into the conversation, and we'll go from there. So Ryan, give us a quick update. What do you do now? Tell us about you. Just just a quick summary of who you are.
Okay. Well, I've married, 2 kids, live in Seabrook. Been an entrepreneur. Oh man, probably since right out of high school. I raced motorcycles. I found a way to start a parts business and sell motorcycle parts to help pay for that. And I've just always been somebody that finds opportunity. I'm more of an opportunist than an entrepreneur, so to speak, because an opportunity presents itself. I like to see if I can take advantage of it to benefit myself and my family. So I'm a problem solver. Not scared of any challenge. I'm a firm believer in people that, we all put on one shoe in the morning at a time. So we can all do the same thing as anyone else you see out there. It's just about, the will and the pursuit of it. So I've owned businesses forever. I like to tell my wife I'm unemployable. She gets a kick out of that because I just don't ever see myself clocking in and clocking out. I did that for 7 years when about my second year in college, I went and got a job at one of the plants, and I did that for 7 years, built a little nest egg, and bet on myself to start a car business. When I bet on myself, I started the car business. That started with one car. About 18 years later, it turned into 100 luxury and exotic cars and about $15 million a year in sales. So it was a pretty lucrative business at one time. I shut that business down at the end of, right at the beginning of 2018. Things were not going the way that they needed to go for me. Unforeseen circumstances that were out of my control were happening on the outside of the business. So things got rough, and I went through all the stress, dealt with it, and just kept plugging away and kept fighting in order to keep moving forward in life. I was recently married, and it was a tough time to start a new marriage while I'm losing a business.
Yeah.
But I just told my wife, I got you. We'll take care. I'll come through. Watch. So
Nice.
I'm relentless, man. I mean, I just keep pushing forward no matter what circumstance comes. And
Now
so, you know,
let's pause there for a minute because there might be people who get connected. So I think it's important to note, right? Because I drove by Garnett Motors, right, and so for the outside looking in, you know, you're driving by this luxury dealership with this dude's name on the front, and so and then you know he's got a boat and a house in Seabrook, and so I think for the average Joe, right? We call, in some instances you call them average Joes, you can call them haters, you can call them whatever you want. So I I wonder what it's like when you had to shut it down, right? Whenever that thing had to close up shop, because I feel like you probably got a bunch of phone calls that were like, yeah, like, are you okay, man? Da, 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 da. But how much of those calls you think was somebody really wanting to know the skinny because they wanted to know why Garnett wasn't making it anymore, right? I mean, that I always feel like there's that little bit of you know, how much did that fire you up, or what was that like? I mean, like actually having to take that sign down with your name on it, man, because I remember that. Like, I remember right there when you built that new store right by that one big giant, I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but it was just like,
yeah,
I'd even drive by for motivation sometimes, right? I'd just turn by
sure.
there. I was going back to the gym business. I'm gonna drive by Garnett's and get motivated. And then one day it's gone. So let's pause there for a second, because I want to know what that felt like for a guy who built his whole career up for 18 years and then all of a sudden one day woke up and he's taking a sign down. Tell me about that feeling.
It's tough, man. It's tough when it's out of your control. When you think you have control over everything, everything in life, always looks prettier from the outside, and people aren't really sitting in the hot seat and don't understand what responsibilities and, what it takes to run a multi-million-dollar business like that, the pressures. So it is, it's really tough. I mean, it's really humbling. It's grounding. Um, would I lie to you and say I didn't have a pity party? No. I mean, it was tough. There was many sleepless nights, just tough, man. I mean, I get emotional about, talking about it now. It was tough. I mean, it's hard times. I mean, you really have to question yourself. What are you doing? And I'm really one of these people pleasing people. So, I kept employees on longer than I probably should have. I ran it, as longer than I should have when I saw, what was happening. So, but, I care about people. I wanted them to have a job. I wanted them to, I was taking care of my sales guy's family, I mean, he was the only employee, he was the only breadwinner at his house. And, and then you've got everybody else in the world calling. You got a lot of people calling, asking what happened. And, those people that call and ask you those kind of questions, they're not your friends. They don't care. They don't really care. They just want the gossip on the street. So, I just blew them off. Really just said, hey, it's closed. That's it. There's no need to get into details about it. You know who cares. I mean, I've got a great family, great mom and dad, and they stood by me, and, wife is great. Those are the people in your corner, my true friends that are in my little inner circle. They stuck by me, didn't bother me about it, didn't question me about it, didn't judge me about it. And, that's what mattered when it got really, really hard and really
That's
tough.
awesome, man.
So, but I stayed motivated, I found new challenges. I love challenges. So when somebody tells me, hey, that's it, you're done, you're finished, blah, 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 you're right. Ryan, he takes that as fuel for the fire, and he takes off. So, I took that. I've done that my whole life. There's always been naysayers for whatever I intend to do. I don't know why a lot of people are so concerned with my life, but, there's a lot of folks out there that are haters to where they are so concerned about what I'm doing. And, and you hear it from time to time. When people are successful, there's always people trying to break you down.
Mm-hmm.
And I just learned to ignore it, and just focus on my family and focus on my kids and focus on finding happiness inside myself. You know, a lot of people judge successfulness by a big house, a boat, a car, all that stuff. And man, I judge it by happiness. I wake up every day with a smile on my face. That's it. That's success. I don't care if there's $5 in the bank or $5 million in the bank. Happiness to me, and that's my success. So yeah, if you call me successful, Jason, I appreciate that. Looking from the outside, if I look like I'm happy, I am. And that's success. And yeah, I mean, some of that stuff, I ain't gonna lie to you, the hater stuff drives you to, you know, silence the critics. But I just keep moving forward, man. I mean, looking for new challenges and trying to overcome those challenges. You know, business shut down. Luckily, I moved into some commercial work with, or some repair work with Harvey. Had an old friend that I connected with from high school that was amazing, just took good care of me, led me through the business, walked me through. He didn't have to do any of that stuff, you know, but he's a really good person. And he just took me under his wing and helped me. And to this day, he still mentors me on stuff with construction. If I have a question about something, he's somebody I could trust. I call him up, he helps me. You know, you got to have people like that in your corner. And it's crazy how God puts things together, because I hadn't talked to this guy in 20 years. He didn't know me anything, you know, but he's a good guy. And I started surrounding myself, or I do surround myself with people that want the best for me. There's always people out there that are going to tell you what you're doing wrong. It may be family, it may be friends, it may be anybody, but surround yourself with people who want to see you succeed. And that's been key for me. So
now I'm hearing a lot of great stuff for anybody listening, but the critical things that I heard is there was some humility that came out of that deal, having lost. But what I see too in you is the fire, but having got to know you is the humbleness, and then getting to hear about the guy who helped you get back on your feet in the construction business. And then again, obviously, I think we had this conversation the other day. You know, we were talking about things, and heck, we're going to lunch later. And the conversation centered around, you know, where do we go from here, and what opportunities exist? And the very first thing you offered to me in the conversation is, hey man, anything you have and you want to run past me, or look at a deal, or look at this, or look at that, you were instantly just offering up support like that, right? And so one of the things that I see a lot with entrepreneurs, guys who've been kind of broken down, lifted out of the fire, gotten back on their feet, and surrounding themselves with a circle, it creates this pay it forward mindset, right?
yeah.
And
hey, Jason, let me pause you 1 second real quick. This is so live. I got my dog digging in the trash. Let me close the trash can.
This is awesome. So I'm going to do a commercial break, man. I'm doing a commercial break.
Yeah, he's taking advantage of Dad being busy here.
So the funny thing is like that's totally going live, because I have zero like interest in spending my nights trying to edit. So for all the videographer, like hater people that are going to be like, man, I can't believe he didn't edit that out. Hey, this is raw, is real. The nuggets, the gold in this is what is Ryan's story. And I mean, we could talk for an hour about the capacity of having started that relationship when you were down with your wife. I mean, what a blessing, really, when you think about it. You know, I'm in that same scenario. I started my business, walked out in faith. I got engaged the same year I started my business, and it's been an uphill battle. So I can relate to you on that level. But I can tell you, it is definitely that's a whole other episode on relationships and carving that out. But man, it's so inspiring to know that it's not always easy, right? It's not always an easy road. It's sometimes a tough one. But let's talk about shifting gears. So you built a business, 18 years, things out of your control, got humbled, had a pity party, bounced back, and the key words I heard of opportunist. So you said, hey, there's an opportunity in houses that need to get rebuilt, right? Harvey, right? There's opportunity. Well, why not get into construction? So, I mean, I was just telling my wife last night, I was like, man, I'm so good at executing certain things, but I don't, I see opportunity when someone's created the opportunity and I go drive it. I did that for years at 24 Hour Fitness, but guys like you are like, oh, there's a lot of houses that are broken. I guess I'll start a construction company. I'm like, damn it, like I should have started a construction company. I mean, you're just one of those guys So let's talk about opportunity now, right? So what are the next 12? I mean, so let's make sure we understand one thing, because I want to make sure I capture the essence of entrepreneurship. Because entrepreneurs look at certain broken situations as opportunities to be successful does not mean they like to capitalize on people's misfortune or bad situations. Okay, Ryan wasn't trying to capitalize on broken homes in Harvey. Ryan rebuilt homes, not capitalized on broken homes. Right? We're going into a broken economy, and a lot of my clients are opportunists, myself included. But let's be crystal clear. No one wants to have opportunity because people got broken. But
Absolutely.
there will be opportunities because they did, and we rely on opportunists to rebuild. Opportunists are going to be what drives and fuels the economy. Ryan said himself, he paid for his employees when they were broken. We need Ryan to be successful, to create jobs and create opportunity. So don't ever apologize for being an opportunist. No one ever should, because the economy's fueled and driven by this great state, this great nation, by dudes who go create stuff, and then from that creates jobs, right? I always tell people, your legacy is going to create a lifestyle for somebody else, and eventually their legacy will create a lifestyle for someone too if you do it right. So it's all about, that ability to transfer legacy living to lifestyles for others. Let's focus on that for a minute. What does the next 12 months hold for you? What are you kind of chomping at the bit and seeing might be opportunities for the perpetual entrepreneur?
Probably the next 12 months. I mean, it just depends on really what problems are going to arise. I mean, with everything that's going on, I fear for a lot of folks that are fixing to come into some hard times because of this forbearance deal. And I'm afraid they're going to get caught, in bad situations that essentially the banks have put them in by offering them, pretty much a lot of folks, it's almost a for sure fail. It's terrible but it's going to be different people that handle it different ways. There are going to be families that struggle. There are people that are losing their jobs now tremendously. And when they're losing their jobs and now they're going to be put back, set back, so to speak, with this forbearance loan coming up, that just is like the perfect storm for a terrible time, a lot of stress on families and individuals as well that are homeowners. Moving forward, I have two. Well, right now I've got 3 companies basically, so I guess I need to touch on that a little bit. I've got a commercial construction company that we do build outs for several general contractors. We've done all kinds. Hang on, shoot, my dang Zumba's coming home.
This is great. We got the dog. We got the Zumba.
Man.
Or the
The
Roomba.
Roomba took off, and
man, this is epic. Wow.
So anyhow, I've got 3 different companies. I've got a residential roofing company, so we do a lot of residential roofing work. I've got a commercial interior company, so we do a lot of build outs for commercial spots. And then I've got a real estate company where I do buy, sell, flips, holds. We do subject to properties. And so, in those 3 companies, I'm not sure what to expect. Roofing is driven by weather. We do a lot of insurance work for homeowners to make sure that their insurance is, taking care of them when they need a new roof. So I don't suspect that'll hurt too bad. We just had a couple of bad storms that came through the Houston area, so that'll probably much take care.
Well, I think everybody in Houston would agree. We don't want your roof business to do too good this year, because if God brings down some hurricane on top of this 2020 mess, we ain't having it. So we gotta keep hurricanes away this year.
Yeah, I hope so. And then with the real estate stuff, I don't know. I don't know. I listen to a lot of people talk. I listen to a lot of people in real estate on a daily basis. And I don't know. I mean, I'm one of these people who are very skeptical about actually listening to people. You've always got 3 different stories, and then the truth is somewhere in between. So, I don't know what's going to happen in real estate. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people are going to get caught up in this deal. I don't know how many people took the forbearance loans. And with the commercial construction company, you know, we're doing good on that. We've got a good relationship. We've gone through some general contractors that don't treat subcontractors fair, in my opinion. We've found a good one that we've locked onto. It's building a great relationship with them, and so you know we'll just keep as much as
That's
they
awesome.
give us. We'll do the work. So.
Well, that's great, great stuff, Ryan. Because the reality is, there's some gold tucked away in here, and I think people need to pick out the pieces and the things that I've heard from being an opportunist and listening to three different sides of the story, landing somewhere in the middle, taking a circle of individuals. And one thing that I know you probably do, both from digesting and listening to information, then improving your circle, getting into with relationships, putting yourself around positive people that want to see you win. Man, there's all kinds of great stuff in this. And I think, again, to the folks listening to it, again, you might not know Ryan, but this might be your first time connected with him. Maybe you've already known him or you've watched them from a distance. But you know, I can tell you from a personal perspective, as this thing started shifting, I reached out last week and said, hey, let's go to lunch, because I do know he's an opportunist. And I also know from our prior conversations, he's always been always desired to serve and offer some advice or counsel to other individuals. And so to me, that says he has a selfless approach. And so these kind of things that I start to see are emulated in everybody in that same arena. So I just shared an episode yesterday with my friend AC Cantera. I've shared episodes with some of my other friends that are coming up, and the one common theme from those that I have on here that are really just the perpetual entrepreneurs, because there's a pivot. I think we all start focused on our lifestyle, Ryan, right? We want to make money, we want to be big, we want to do this, we want to do that. There's always this humbling moment where something captures our attention. We realize it's not about all that stuff. We shift our life and we make it a different direction. And then amazingly, those opportunities continue to come up. They continue to present themselves. All those things continue to happen. But it's all brought in a new light. There's less pressure, right? There's pressure when you're trying to win for you and for your lifestyle. When you know your lifestyle is going to be handled and you're going to be happy with $5 grand or $5 million in the bank because you got a smile on your face and time with your family and the things that matter, all that shifting really starts to go back to what legacy is about, right? What's it like when something happens and people look back and say, what did Ryan Garnett do, right? Your kids' kids, the people in the community, the people that you impact, heck, it could be that person that you help them get out of their house because they were stressed out and overwhelmed, and maybe you created an opportunity for somebody else because you moved somebody else into that house because they couldn't find one because their credit got crushed in this deal, and you were able to create that. That's not a bad thing because you were in a position to create it, and so it's just all these things happen to happen, in this kind of circle of life that we live in, man. And it's cool to see a guy who's always been focused on that, focused on his legacy. So Ryan, I want to thank you, man, just for sharing your story. And always being there to help guide and lead people. I want to also encourage people, if you're a contractor, you're looking for people, you're looking for roofing services, good moral compass, great guy, in a situation with real estate, looking for real estate ideas, thoughts, whatever. I know Ryan's always, as an opportunist, that means he picks up the phone and takes calls, right? Because if you don't answer the phone, you don't take calls, you're not successful. One of my clients makes a business out of flipping businesses for a living. And that's what he does. He takes broken businesses, turns around and flips them, sells them. And needless to say, let's just put it this way, he does really well. And when I ask him what the majority of his day consists of, he says, taking calls, man. he goes, I learned, he's been on 17 boards with 17 different companies over his lifetime, and he's only 50. So he started his first company at 20, and that 30 years of business, he said, man, you miss 100% of the opportunities you don't take. And if you're not taking calls or meetings or connecting with people, how can you make sure you're getting the most out of your opportunities, and that's what you strike me as. So dude, thank you. Hopefully it'll inspire somebody. Again, as a reminder, this show is not about professional advice, professional sales, professional anything, man. It's just I'm very blessed in my 20 years plus of business. I hate to say that out loud. It makes me so aged. But I've been able to just come across, I come across amazing people, and I just want more people to have access to those same amazing people. So nothing that we're talking about or whatever is professional counsel or guidance or anything like that. It's just a chance for you to open the door and say, hey, maybe I should reach out to Ryan or somebody else that's driven through this channel, or maybe you just get off your butt and do something different today. So hopefully that happens. And Ryan, any closing shots, man? Anything else you want to add before we hang up?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say thanks, Jason. I appreciate you taking an interest in me. Really humbled by that, honored by that. But yes, I totally agree with what you're saying. I think what separates me in business with a lot of people is I do answer the phone and I do respond to people, and that's key in anything you do in life. Don't run from the fear, but face it. If it's coming to you, face it. Get some help. Ask for people to help. You guys can connect with me on Facebook, Ryan Garnett, and I'd be happy to shoot you an email or answer anything. Or if you see an opportunity you need help with, give me a call, man. I mean, I'm happy to help people. I do that stuff daily where, I'm not in it to make a dollar out of it. I just like to see people succeed. I'd love to see everyone succeed. So, I'm here anytime anyone needs me. Phone call away, email away. So, again, just thanks, man. I appreciate you having an interest in me.
Awesome, bro. Hey, guys, it's Ryan, and his company is A Quick Restoration. So aquickrestoration.com. You can always seek him out and find him through there. Again, he said his Facebook page, obviously, Ryan Garnett. So, guys, thank you so much today. Look forward to seeing you guys on our future episodes with other leaders. If you know of anybody that's a thought leader, a game changer, somebody that needs to have a conversation, have them get connected with me. Looking forward to it. Thanks.